Hello everyone and welcome back to the Champion Forge. We are into our second episode of our third season. My name is Counterfeit. This is your QXs.
Oh, is my cue? Zav!
Roger!
We're so good at this.
Middle cut?
That's right. We've got a very confused looking middle cut here. Oh my gosh. So yes, here's an episode of Champion Forge. We're all deeply prepared here today. Middle cut, since you are our guest here tonight, would you mind introducing yourself for any of the folks who might be watching who are like, who's this middle cut guy?
I didn't realise that the voice actor for like a Sonic cartoon from the 90s was watching, but yes, no, I'm Jack Middlecott Davis. I am a play-by-play caster and host focusing mostly on League of Legends. I've casted for the UKL, done some stuff for Telia Masters and Telia Finland, as well as covering the LJL unofficially as a bootleg English language broadcast. I also founded LeagueWorks, which is a content creation project aimed at increasing engagement between the community and the NLC qualifying regions. Yeah. And I'm also wearing a Hawaiian shirt. That's me.
Delightful. So, Milko, I noticed that you've been kind of excited seeing some of our social posts. Did you have any particular aspirations in the champion design area? Was there a particular reason this had meaning for you?
Well, it's because, as a lot of people know, Udyr is being reworked right now, and I'm a bit of an Udyr enjoyer. I love the guy. Okay, been numerous nights out with him. I've got absolutely wasted, woken up 3 o'clock in the morning, lying on a park bench like he's just a swell guy. But I want to sort of like get to understand a little bit of that sort of champion design process, because it's something that I'm going to be experiencing, obviously, like when I'm playing a lot very soon. But I just want sort of to get a taste of the process, I guess.
Okay. So for today, you did actually come up with some idea of what kind of champion you like to make. We already kind of alluded to some of that already, and mentioning the whole jungle thing. I realised that my microphone problem sounds really weird. Hopefully that fixed it.
Yeah. That's all.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nobody said anything.
I was about to, but you just kept on talking.
Yeah.
Middlecott, why don't you tell us about your idea now that I can talk a bit more normal like?
So, my idea is based very coolly on the concept of Australia. Well, people don't know, but I'm actually half Australian. My dad's from Australia, lived there for a number of years, and I quite like the place. I've been there a couple times, and so when I was coming up with ideas, I wanted to draw sort of quite heavily from this. So, a lot of the sort of like the sort of Steve Irwin type guy, I guess, is the best way that I can explain the avenue that I'm going with, like what I want this champion to kind of be.
I loved Steve Irwin. It was so.
He was so good, man. He was so good, man.
I'm too young to know him.
He is basically pre-Bear Grylls. I think Bear Grylls kind of focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, like Steve Irwin was just incredibly wholesome, like doing all the conservation shit, and you could tell that he genuinely enjoyed like every second of what he was doing, which I guess is like why most people watched him. But Bear Grylls kind of just like drinks his own urine, so.
That's the savage put that I've ever heard on.
It's
So what I'm hearing here, Middlecott, is there's certain things you want your champion to have, and there are other things that perhaps you don't want them to have. For example,
yeah.
If he lore-wise, our champion is the new champion is Australian. I think Roger should draw him upside down. I think that's fair.
Yes, that's.
Give
me a second. There we go. There we go.
Segue into talking about some of the pre-visualization work that Roger has been doing before this even started here today. So let's take a look. Oh my gosh, he did put it upside down. Oh, yeah. Well, here you go. That is definitely ruined the effect quite heavily, but never mind.
You wanted him upside down. I made him upside down.
Would you mind flipping it back around again? There we go. Oh, I love that you did it
brilliant,
manually.
brilliant. Love that.
So,
Love
Roger,
that.
what were you going for here?
So I just read Australian dad bod, some kind of guy, like it was like average build, average height, not too muscular, not too much dad bod. I'm like, okay, okay. It's like, yeah, kind of like Steve Irwin. I'm like, that's enough. I just need to survive. Steve Irwin, I got it. And then I looked like, and then I like also like because like Steve Irwin has like the connection with the animals. I thought like I got some inspiration from like Sky from Valorant, you know, because she has her,
Oh yeah.
you know, she has like the flash bird. She has the wolf that haunts the other agents. So I thought about like, yeah, like, that could be something cool, you know, like it doesn't have to be the same. That it's like some trinket that she activates and it's like a bird that flies out, but in that like, you know, in that sense with that these two animals are not like actually there but more like spirits, and he takes care of them or they take care of him, you know, some like, yeah, never ending friendship.
I love
'Cause
that.
I think that would like stand for Steve Irwin, you know, like the
Yeah.
power of friendship.
It's like that like connection with like nature and stuff as well, which I think is quite a cool thing. 'Cause I don't-
Yeah, and here on the left side we have like a little bit of like a color palette. I just googled like Australia color palette, and this picture of the forest came up with the colors next. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. This is perfect.
We're not gonna get anything done this stream. We'll try.
I think that we've already established that. It looks like
Yeah.
that a whole bunch of people who've never heard of you are in the chat, very excited to see you here. So
Whoa, what's it?
let's
Okay.
go to 10.
I want to go and read chat, like in case anything interesting is occurring in there. Yeah.
So Bidin is from my stream. Bidin, hi. Snack Misari, no, there are no Snack Misaris today. No.
Oh.
Right, hold on. I just need to move the stream back over. Boop. Right, yeah, no.
Technical things have to go on.
I was breaking things. It's all right. We're fine now.
Ooh. So, Middlecop, what do you think of what Roger Rogers got there art-wise? Is that lining up at all with what the kind of stuff you were thinking?
So I think it's a bit more animal focused than like what I'd originally like envisioned. But I think it's actually a pretty cool direction to take it in, because one of the cool things about having those like different like spirits and having that connection with other entities, I guess, is it means it opens up a lot that you can do in sort of like character creation stuff, because it's not just one person doing stuff. You've got multiple different things where maybe it doesn't make sense for like the main champion to do one thing, but if it's like one of these other spirits or something, then it makes more sense than to do that. Like it doesn't make sense for I guess Brand to have like a Nivea ult, because it's just like doesn't thematically work. But if there was like some ice themed Brand, I guess it would work. I don't know.
I think that's perfectly valid. It's perfectly
Of course, that
valid.
is valid. Just a little heads up. Our last champion was literally Colin the Fridge Lady. So
Yes, yeah. We'll try and avoid like fridge. Yeah, I had a fully fleshed out concept like for ages, but then I realized that you already had a fridge themed champion, so I had to ditch all that. So a little bit awkward, but
See, now you know the
yeah,
pain of a champion designer, that everyone's done everything
it's
already.
difficult. It's difficult. Yeah, it's a tough life. It's unthankful, ungrateful, even.
It's like you know when Hollywood will release like 2 or 3 movies that are basically like identical in concept within 6 months. It's kind of like that, I feel.
Yep.
And because I feel like it must really suck if you're like one of those like later movies that doesn't do the thing as well, because it's just like you were in a rip-off and it was bad. But I don't want the champion to be a rip-off and bad. They're going to be brilliant.
That's a good high level. Not a rip-off and
not a
bad.
rip-off.
So, let's
That's gonna be tough to do.
Oh, I mean, to be fair,
no.
it's starting
No.
with a rip-off concept.
Oh no.
So I guess we're gonna start wide here, and talk a little bit. I guess we'll kind of like, I'd like you to pitch him first, just so we make sure we don't kind of, send you in too much of a direction immediately. But so in terms of the high-level concepts for your character, like, what kinds of ideas would you like to see come in here? Like, we can have a ton of different ideas. We don't have to use all of them. They can be as out as you want, but what makes sense to you?
What do you mean as in high-level concepts? Like what
So
like you said
what does that
before, where
convey?
you say it's a supportive sort of. We had a little bit of discussion in the pre-show. The supportive kind of jungler.
Well, I guess we did.
That's an inside joke that nobody will get. Anyway, so supportive jungler, but also some connection with nature, as you said. Something that I think this is what the champion's taste, the champion feel should like. Is he a fighter? Is he somebody who helps people? Is he somebody who wants to, he looks very nature bound, so there's definitely an element there that we might use.
Yeah. So I generally I sort of just want him to be like a nice dude,
Sure.
Sure.
I feel like there aren't enough characters that are just like good people. There's always some sort of like motivation, which means they have to be good. But like this is just like genuinely like you're moving flat, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I've got my van. I'll give you a hand," and then like they buy you the round like at the pub afterwards. Like they're just that sort of person. Like
Somehow I'm getting the feeling of like Indiana Jones.
Is Indian a nice guy though?
I think he kind
He
of
is. He is.
Yeah, he's got.
I mean,
good
he's the good guy of the movies, so.
Reed, so we'll definitely be coming back to that, actually. We'll write this down while I remembered. So that's another thing we'll be talking through is inspirations. And Ivern is the most obvious one, which Reed very well pointed out there as being a thing. So we'll keep that as like a side thing. So what other stuff, I guess, no, him being a nice dude is actually really great for that kind of stuff. Like, have you got anything else which is like, you feel like you'd like to, or would need to be for him to feel like the kind of champion that you want to make? It can be really straightforward stuff.
Oh, in terms of like gameplay mechanics?
Yeah, like what
like
kinds of stuff he does, or what kind of person he is, or something about how he looks.
So I think in terms of looks, drawing maybe from something kind of like Joel from The Last of Us, little bit less chiseled.
Wait, let me look that up. What is it look?
Just like
Joel
Joel from The Last of Us, but just like turn it down a little bit because like there's
Not going to the gym every day.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like Joe, but like 10 years younger and shaven.
Actually, yeah.
Okay,
Sort of
do you want like same hair color, or should he be like a blondie like Steve?
I'm trying to remember actually what Joel from The Last of Us looks like.
Jesus.
Because it just like it pulled into my head. Yeah.
Pokemon trainer. Oh yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. Like dirty blonde hair. I think would be pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pokemon trainer could be cool. Yeah, I was also thinking about the problem is we need to be careful that we don't, because we already talked about this before on previous episodes, where you can't really have too many controllable minions in League because of the way League is kind of played. But I like the idea of him having maybe not like a old Yorick kind of type, but maybe something where you can say he has some form of, you call it a spirit animal that kind of sticks with him. It's maybe a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Alright, so we've got spirit animal. Hey, Happy. Yeah, so Happy likes us talking about the idea of like trying to... so yes, we've got, I guess, for spirit animal, we've got Pokemon and or Sky. Yeah, Sky from Valorant is definitely a very heavy visual inspiration from what Roger's doing. And there's nothing, I don't think there's anything wrong with also just like taking concepts and trying to find different ways to approach them.
Ooh, and once again, Little God, you can stop me anytime, which you'll probably need to a couple of times in this episode.
You say that every time, and
I
then
say
no
it
one
every
stops
time.
you.
And yet no one stops me. Exactly. That's why I keep saying it every time. What if he has like a guard dog that he uses as a game mechanic? something where he says, "Okay, this is
Like
a dog."
Wolfie here.
Yeah, like a wolf, or like a wolf. Yeah, like Wolfie there.
I
that
mean,
is,
Australia has like dingoes and stuff. So like,
oh,
like a
Dingoes.
like a pet dingo.
I have to
What
look
is
it
a
up one-
dingo?
Yeah, I have to look it up
Come
one day.
on.
What kind of dog?
Dingo.
It's a wild dog. It's a wild dog.
Oh
They-
yeah, it's
yeah.
one of those
Dogs.
or yeah. Yes.
Ooh, they look cute. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
They are mostly known for eating babies.
Yeah.
Eating
that is-
what?
There
Yeah,
you go.
that is
Paddy
an
McAndrew said exactly the same thing at the same time.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That is an
Oh,
unfortunate.
Side effect.
An unfortunate side effect. But like, I mean, lots of things have eaten bait. It's not a fun discussion.
What?
Quickly move on, shall we?
Let's
Alright,
not. Let's not.
So, Middlecott, so
Well.
I guess other stuff would be like, so, sort of behaviors we could translate to game. So other stuff like, I'm trying to think of sort of stuff that might be relevant, like,
What if the dingo could like bring stuff to his allies?
Oh,
like a courier kind of idea.
Yeah, like you know how like they've got the courier in Dota. What if
Yeah.
maybe not items, or maybe items. I don't know if that would be like too overpowered a mechanic. But definitely like small buffs or something. Like a Vegemite sandwich or something to like.
You know those like dogs when you're in the snow and they have like the little like
The
rum
brandy, yeah,
thing?
or the
Yeah,
rum,
the brandy. Yeah, and like he comes
Yeah.
running to you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what's the Saint Bernard?
Like you look sober. Have one of these.
Oh, that could be the name of his passive. Good boy.
You're there lying in the snow, freezing. The dog comes over. You just like drink the brandy. It's like, I can't get out of here now. I'm pissed.
Well, yeah, he sends his dingo over to an ally who is nearly dead. Might as well have a last drink, mate.
No, there's like the Foster's advert in England, or in the UK. It was like good, cool. Like that's an ability name right there. Where like gives a beer to the dingo, who then sends it to the nearest low health ally. No,
I don't remember that advert, but sure, let's go for it.
Yeah, sure.
So the chat have been talking a little bit about, so Happy and Reed talking about having a bird buddy you could send out. So the idea of animal buddy seems to be pretty popular.
Yeah.
Who would kind of
Yeah.
scout an area and then attack stuff. I guess a little bit like Swain's old Raven.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe a little mole for recon. I mean,
a mole.
so Middlecott,
It's
before...
Oh, I have a very high level concept idea.
Yeah,
Ooh, okay.
Okay, so for his ult, okay,
yeah.
so ult has 3 levels. What if during his ult he turns into an animal, turns into one of these spirit animals, but they change. So his first
Okay.
level of his ult is something that is good in early game. His second level of his ult is something that's good with roaming, for example. And so his third level of his ult is another animal. So you could say for the first level he changes into the hawk. For the second level he might change it to a wolf or something, and for a third level he changes into something else.
Okay.
I think I like that. I think
It's an idea, by the way. So
yeah.
it's
No, I like that. But I think pulling it into like the Australia theme.
Yeah.
I think making sure they're like Australian themed animals. So like maybe there's like a shark or a crocodile in there, which gives like you pop it and it gives you like bonus movement speed in the river, and then like a dash on your next attack, like coming out of it, like representing like the crocodile. Like you see like documentaries where it's like the crocodile leaping out of the water, or like a shark
Yeah.
leaping out of the water to attack people like that.
Yeah, that could be
Or-
actually that could be very good for the second one, because then he would you could give him something to do with the river, and that's better for mid game, because then a lot of people are more in the river. I just thinking about
But-
mechanics here.
Leaping out of like the water, wouldn't that make him a little bit like Fizz then?
Yeah, true.
Oh,
Because
really?
Fizz like literally has that with a shark jumping
With a
out.
shark, yeah.
Yes, that's true. Reed had an interesting take on this whole idea which we're talking about here, where rather than it being like you do your X at level 6, your Y at level 11, that you get to choose which your form is going to be.
Oh!
And then you have to stick with it?
No, and that you can only change it on like a long cooldown, but like maybe
Oh,
as
okay,
your
yeah,
health goes up, you can change more frequently.
You get
This is-
access to more animals.
That is a
Yeah.
cool idea.
This
yeah.
is extremely Udyr at the moment.
No, because it's only his ult. Yeah, but it's extremely Udyr, but the fact that what I always hated about Udyr is that he doesn't have an ult. And I know he's a
That's
transformation champion and whatever.
Best part of the champion. Don't go toe to toe to me on things you hate about Udyr's kit, please.
Fair enough. Understandable. Have a nice day.
Oh, and also,
Bye.
we've missed a big trick here. Drop bears haven't been mentioned as of yet, and that's obviously a crime.
Yes, actually true.
Paddy is is calling you out, Middlecott, for just making Udyr 2.0.
All right. He's allowed to do that. He's allowed to do that.
I guess so. I want to step back a little bit here because something which we've been trying to do a little bit more is try and get a clearer idea, kind of going in what you want the champion to be doing in the game. So rather just like a bunch of different abilities and stuff, like what is their role in the team? You said, if we go for supportive jungle, like what are they doing that's making them supportive as a jungler, and trying to make sure we've got a clear idea of that before we come up with like a bunch of abilities that may not fit into that kind of idea.
I guess I'm trying to considering the balance between like supportive in terms of something like a Jarvan or like a Vi, who are like these champions that can kill up early, versus something like a Nunu or an Ivan where you're directly helping your teammates. I feel like something in the middle, where you're providing a fair bit of CC and buffs, but you're also doing a little bit of damage as well on the side. So I guess sort of in a bruiser focused play style.
Okay.
But like less skewed, less damage skewed than a lot of bruisers. So I guess something a bit similar to I don't know, something like a Warwick, where like he's relatively tanky, does a fair bit of damage, but it's not like something like a Camille or a Darius which can like just one shot you.
Okay. Okay, well, that's really good to know kind of what sort of stuff you want to do there.
I think we do need to be careful that we don't give him everything. Because
Yeah.
if we give him support, jungler, bruiser, CC, it's still cool. I think we can work it all into it. We can work everything in there, but we need to be careful that we don't give him too much as well. But yeah, it's a cool idea. Yeah, giving him like a bruiser support that helps out allies. Yeah, I like it.
So the reason for trying to get a solid, like high level idea in place is that it can help us provide a filter for kind of providing the why to certain abilities in terms of like the changing form stuff is really cool, but if we can sort of skew that in a way that it helps fulfill his purpose in the game, or gives him some alternate ways to mix up that purpose, then it hopefully will become a lot richer.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Go on.
No, please, Nexus, please go on.
So the idea that Middlecott posted before the stream, said before the stream, is something I really liked. It was the rabbit-proof fence thing, where you can put down a fence.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
I think that was really cool because it provides both the utility and the CC, and there were like all kinds of mechanics in there. So I think the idea we had was he can put down a fence between pieces of terrain. And it's sort of that was my suggestion, but obviously we can change that. There was sort of a grounded effect when you're passing through the fence, meaning you can't, like in Cassiopeia, you can't dash, you can't use any blinks or whatever.
Yeah, so you have to like walk through the fence, and then I think they was talking about like reactivating it to deal damage or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
And used it. I feel like maybe like in terms of looking at the kit, maybe we don't go for the transforms necessarily, because I'm not sure how well that would play into the supportive style. And maybe we have this on the ultimate with like some like Teemo Shroom cooldown or something. Maybe that's something we can do.
Okay.
Or because it's being like available like every like 20 seconds or something.
I think that's a cool idea. Because then you also already handicap him a little bit in the early game, in the very early game, because if he has a cooldown system on it, it's something he wants to use regularly, meaning it's something that really his kit revolves around. Yeah.
Reed's trying to push the animal aspect
I
pretty hard with the create. It's not a rabbit-proof fence. It's
not a wall of rabbits.
I mean, let's be fair. The rabbit-proof fence also wasn't rabbit-proof.
I mean, it wasn't. Yeah. I like the idea of just a wall of rabbits, though.
Okay.
A wall.
It could be like an Easter special, you know?
Oh, are we already getting like the promo skins ready for this?
Yes.
Okay, I'm well down for this.
Obviously.
I'm the marketing department.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, how many release prestige edition skins are they gonna have?
all
Yes.
of them.
It depends if our sweatshop is
kangaroos.
busy or not.
Reed has mentioned kangaroos. I feel like the fact that we haven't mentioned kangaroos at any point yet.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that could be his gap closer, like where he jumps like I guess like kangaroo legs, or he jumps on a kangaroo. Or something.
I'm not gonna lie. This is actually just turning into Udib but Australian.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I mean, if you want to make Australian Udir, that
If you want to make Australian Udir, that's fine by us. I'm
hell
down.
yeah.
we can just do a stealth
More
Udir
Udirs.
rework.
Don't tell them.
It wasn't the intent, but let's go for
All
it.
right, Middlecom. I'm gonna call on you here. So it sounds like we've basically got two different ideas here. We've got
Yeah.
an Udir rework, which just happens to be Australian themed for some reason. Or we have got the kind of park ranger kind of guy. These don't necessarily feel like they are the same champion.
Yeah, I don't. I think we probably try and turn away from Udir.
You want to turn away from Udir? Are you sure?
As
Can somebody clip that? Yep, thanks.
Send it to Udir mains subreddit.
nah, man, I've got to stick with my boy. Yeah, we're doing Australian Udir.
All right, there we go.
But is the design still okay, or do I have to like I don't know,
It's good.
give him
The
kangaroo
guy's
legs?
good. The guy's.
I mean, that could be his pre. Like Udir's got like the pre-transformation skin.
Oh, what if okay?
Oh
so
wait! His ulti could be like that. He gets like kangaroo legs and like he's like super fast.
well, my idea was instead of because we're working with the spirit animal, right? Instead of Udir kind of transforms into another animal or sort of similar. What if his, for example, the kangaroo legs? What if he just gets a spirit kangaroo, and that's the idea behind it? The spirit kangaroo jumps him forward, and he's still just a regular dude who works with these animals. And that's
Is he like?
what his
Is
skills
he
work
in?
around.
Is he in the pouch?
Yes.
Oh yes.
This is very important.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
He's just there, like in the pouch.
Um.
I love it.
Okay, so we call that ability Skippy.
Yes.
We call that ability Skippy. Nice.
All right, so let's toss. Well, we can toss out quite a lot of high level concepts here.
Yeah.
Because we are
Yeah.
going weird. So let's move this out, and I guess we can bring some of them back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gosh darn it, silly program. There we go. All right, so what can we keep? So high level concepts for Aussie Udir. So do you still want, if it is going to be an Udir rework, do you still want this to be a supportive jungler?
Well, I think it's fine for the kit to be a bit more supportive focused. Something sort of like Nunu or Sejuani or Java, something like that.
So are we... Exodus, it sounded like you were kind of thinking of effectively just Udir's current kit, but with a reflavor on the animal involved.
That's not what I was thinking of. But I think what we could do is, So what I have in mind is that he gets these animals, these spirit animals that help him. So for example, I keep going back to the kangaroo with the skippy legs, where he gets abilities for a short time. What I mean by that is, for
Yeah.
example, let's get back to the kangaroo. He gets on a kangaroo that jumps him around for, like, let's say you have 3 jumps. So the E is you activate it, you get in the kangaroo pouch, then he jumps around 3 times. He can jump around 3 times, and it's a long distance, and whenever he lands on something, that person gets stunned, for example. That's a good cap closer. That's something you could use in jungle as well, and it's something that provides CC and utility. I don't know if you like it. It doesn't need to be this.
What do you think, Middlecomb?
Trying to think. Well, it's just so I feel like a big long range dash is a little bit antithetical to what's going on here. I think that you also have to think about like what kangaroos do, right? So yeah, they jump. So maybe we could look at like terrain mobility. I think having it super long range is probably not a great idea. But they also like punch stuff. Like they also kick stuff. So I think maybe some sort of knockback associated with an auto attack or something.
The kangaroo just jumps and like kicks with the legs like the enemy back. It's
Yeah,
like,
it goes
yeet.
up on its tail. And it's like
If it's an Udi rework, it can be like the replacement for the bear stun, which is cool. Where he gets in a kangaroo pouch, he gets a jump, and instead of stunning somebody, he does actually have a kickback effect. On his first auto attack.
like you get when you activate it, you get like a jump that you can use, and it's either like pre-targeted, or you can select, or you can like click on the champion or a unit, and then it would like have the empowered auto attack on it as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Jump and kick the closest enemy backwards on landing. That is also a cool idea.
so
Like the kangaroo in Spyro.
oh, what? I've not played Spyro. There was a kangaroo in that one?
Oh, my sweet summer child.
Pretty sure there was.
I'm just gonna make you doubt yourself.
Pretty sure there was.
All right. So we've gotten 37 minutes in, and we've basically not written anything. So it's
No,
going really
that's
well.
not true. No, that's not true. We have one ability. We have one ability.
Yeah.
We have 2
Wait,
abilities.
should I draw it? Should I draw it? What ability do we have?
I think we have the fence and the kangaroo already, right?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. So we've got. What are we calling this? Like him kicking with the kangaroo?
We could just call it Skippy or whatever, but
I think Skippy as a provisional name works. I might want to revisit it at a later point.
Which
what's
one is
some
it?
Kangaroos. It's a dash and it's a stun, or it's a knockback effect, so it's an E.
Yeah.
It's always an E. It's always an E.
Yeah,
when it's
that
the
is an E.
Okay.
kangaroo.
So, okay, so what does this with small stun? Oh, small knockback.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been messing around with this.
I
So-
vote hoppity hop.
Oh gosh, it's a vote now.
Oh,
Hoppity hop.
Democracy.
I'll tell you what, middle cop.
Short range.
Yeah.
You can have final say on the ability names, but you know, it must be
Yeah.
something which either you've come up with or the chat has come up with directly.
Okay. Fine. Hoppity hop.
That looks very rabbit-like there.
That's okay.
Hoppity hop, mate.
Hoppity.
Oh sheesh. Oh, you probably like
Yeah, we're
ruining the
professionals. in
individual's
this.
day. Like it's just like I've just been kicked in the face.
Yeah.
All right, so middle court. Let's just talk a little bit about the kangaroo jump, whatever it thing is. So the particular stuff you wanted to be different about it is you wanted it to be short range specifically, and you wanted some kind of terrain crossing on there as well.
Yeah. So like the idea is like it's a kangaroo. It is jumping over a fence or something.
So are you talking
'Cause,
about something like a like Cassidin's thing where he will always get to the other side of the terrain, or do you mean just the ability to jump over small walls?
Oh yeah, because Castin's is a blink, isn't it? Yeah. So
he always gets the other side.
a dash, I guess. Well, if it's a thick enough wall, then they can't go through it.
Okay, so it's a dash which can traverse more walls.
Which is good for a jungler, by the way. Which is because that's one of the strong suits of junglers, that they often can jump over walls.
So is this? I'm assuming this. Sorry, just to ask the obvious questions here, but I'm assuming that this Udyr rework remains melee.
Yes. Yeah. It's the only way to play League of Legends.
Thank you.
No. My last league game was Ashe, and I felt disgusting for doing it. Just check that champion is gross.
Oof.
I'll put in Hoppity Hop as the placeholder name.
Hoppity Hop, okay.
And we'll forget to change it, so that'll probably end up just being the name.
Hell yeah.
All right, so maybe Exodus, and maybe we can think about this. Is to try and come up with just outside of pure thematic stuff. Why are we putting in a short range dash which can traverse small walls with a knockback at the end? Like what?
Jungler CC gap closer. There we go.
I guess so.
There we have Skippy. Or Hoppity Hop. Okay, I'll change that.
Don't worry, it'll probably change like 5 times.
Yeah.
I'm quickly looking up famous Australian animals to see where we can draw some more inspiration from.
Wombat, quokka, cassowary. Cassowary.
Cassowary's pretty scary.
Cassowaries are terrifying.
Wait, how do you spell it? Cassowary?
Cassowary.
Yeah.
Wary.
Yeah.
Cassowary.
Like, it looks like fairly unassuming, but I'm pretty sure it's like a direct descendant of those like megafauna like terror bird things that.
Oh,
like,
it's like it's like a smaller emu almost, but prettier.
Prettier. That thing will mess you up, mate.
Oh, whoa.
Look at its feet.
Nice.
Look at its toes.
Yeah, they're quite big. I'm mistaken. They're bigger than I thought.
Yeah, like those toes are massive. Like,
It's
honestly,
a dinosaur.
it is. It is actually a dinosaur.
Okay.
Look at those feet.
Oh, Jesus.
That's not okay.
Okay, I can't
Does he?
That should be illegal.
Okay, I can't get that on screen very well. Alright.
So that can be the next animal then, a cassowary.
Yeah, I don't know what cassowary, like the cassowary sounds to be. It'd just be win the game, honestly. Like, it's just,
Win the game.
it's too powerful.
I guess I remember that they were ridiculously aggressive. Don't they try and sort of raptor style disembowel you? Or am I thinking of something else?
Yeah, yes, they do. Yes, that is what they do.
Okay.
This guy doesn't look like a disemboweler. If I'm,
Oh,
if I'm
hold
being
up.
honest.
During this is from Wikipedia, by the way, but during World War II, American and Australian troops stationed in New Guinea were warned to steer clear of cassowaries. And in some cases, the wild cassowaries were used to guard weapons depots.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Okay,
they're
cool.
badass.
Yeah,
Like,
so they're-
flightless birds in Australia are like ridiculous. Like they're
Okay,
just
so this is definitely an attack ability then. This is definitely something that attacks.
Well,
okay.
this is if we want to include cassowary stuff. It's pretty far from the initial concept.
yeah. It's a bit too aggro for me.
Okay.
I feel like you. I'm picturing this champion being like a fairly like relaxed and chill dude, like just like likes grilling on the weekend. But I don't think
No, a
Cassowary-
Barbie. He likes having
A
a
Barbie.
Barbie on the
Barbie.
weekend.
Oh.
So I did have
Yeah.
a concept which I wanted to float past you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're talking about the whole idea of him being friends with everybody, and I guess we're still having some element of that as part of it. What about a buddy system in the game, where if you imagine like Kindred's marks, but instead of it being marks on the opposing team, it's spending time with people on your own team? That you would get some kind of reward as a jungler for going and spending time in basically giving people an even jungle proximity, so you would give you some kind of effect or bonus.
We can just. I mean, if you want to go real stereotype, we can say something where he prepares a steak on the barbie and then he gives it to somebody
Yeah.
or something. But that's maybe a bit too much, out there. But I like the idea of having rewarding junglers with proximity towards allies, especially people who also roam. Maybe that could be. I'm looking at animals as well. Let me take a look. That could maybe be an emo ability where he gives his allies a speed buff.
Gives them eggs.
Gives them X.
Oh, yes, Koga, Roger is the designated artist. All the drawing you're seeing on the stream is being done by Roger while we're talking, distracting him.
It's like the Zillion passive where he pees on people.
Oh god.
Thank you, Happy. That was...
What?
Oh, God, no.
Oh, it's made it worse.
I'd never seen that. I'd never made that connection in my mind.
No,
Oh,
same.
that's bad. Oh, who was Happy? Oh, make me
That's happy for you. That's
making me upset.
1 second super innocent, other second she jumps to that stuff.
So, Middlecote, what do you think of that jungle proximity idea? Like, feel more than free to be like, no, that doesn't sort of fit in with the kind of thing which I had in mind.
I'm still taken aback. I'm really sorry, guys.
Are you shook?
It's just it's affected me in ways that I didn't think it was possible to be affected. It's cool. I'm not sure it quite fits like the style exactly, because I feel like kind of what's being built here is like a guy that's fairly like sociable and friendly, but is more of a loner or is more connected with like sort of animals rather than people necessarily. So will still be really nice, like if you go and like talk to them and stuff, but maybe doesn't seek out people necessarily as much, or more sort of like just comes across people or people seek them out.
Okay, let's put in as a personality trait that we're gonna hit.
Okay, how about this then? Ivern protects animals by, he doesn't kill jungle camps, he kind of sets them free. What if our guy buffs jungle champs in the enemy jungle? Where it makes them in the early game makes it more difficult for enemy junglers to clear camps, for example.
I love that.
Okay.
I love that.
Because then he's not directly attacking anybody, but he's making it more difficult for an enemy jungler. So you can, for example, say that on. Yeah.
Okay. That's a cool idea.
Yeah, that's not something I've seen ever in a MOBA where it's buff jungle camps.
So so that's such an interesting idea. We could maybe try and sort of build the rest of the kit with that in mind. So the point of this being that that they would take longer to kill them. Would they get more rewards for killing them, or would they get the same rewards?
I'd say not, because otherwise the reason I'd say no is because otherwise you immediately have a tactic where you go, oh, here is a buff jungle camp, let's send people over there and kill it with 3 people so we get a big, and I think that's counterproductive. So what we could do, for example, is like a kindred passive, and there's a camp marked. If he goes over to that camp, he gets the jungle, he kills the camp or whatever, but he gets the XP. The camp respawns, but it's way more difficult to kill. So he kind of
respawns like immediately.
Or the next time it spawns.
Or
it's
the
more
next
difficult
time it
to kill.
spawns. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the next time it spawns, it's more difficult to. That camp has a buff against the enemy team.
Okay, yeah, I'm into that. Middlecote, if you're on board with that, I think we could.
I really like that. And then I assume this buff doesn't apply if this champion tries to go and take the camp again. It's just something that applies to the enemy team.
Yeah,
that makes it harder for them to do that.
Yeah, it makes it harder for them to do that.
I actually really like that, because that means that when you in like gameplay scenarios, it means that you can't trade sides of the jungle with him at all.
Yeah, it's sort of an anti-jungler almost, an anti-invade jungler. Yeah,
that's really cool. And then that combos well with like the hoppity hop having the dash on it, or the skippy, or whatever we're calling it. Like gives him a little bit more of that mobility where he can go and do this sort of counter jungling. Or I guess like now we're sort of like getting to this place where like supportive in a way of like screwing over the enemy team. It sort of like reminds me of old Nunu in a sense.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's also something. It's interesting because something you can the idea of buffing enemy jungle camps is, imagine you're up against a jungler that was really heavy on the damage but needs a lot of items, something like a Karthus or a Yi. The one way now, what you do, you pick an aggressive jungler and you kill him. You just try and kill that champion. But what you can also do is, for example, you're trying with Ivern. It's more difficult. Ivern is more CC, but obviously damage output isn't there. But with this particular thing, you are making sure that power farming jungler is actually in a more negative spot to get that power level farming on, which is actually it's a really cool idea.
Yeah, I like the idea that this gives them immediately like a situation in which you would pick them into. Rather than just sort of being like, it's just a generic ability that will be useful all the time. Kogo and Reed, you were talking about making him more effective as a support or having balancing problems. Well, look, I think maybe what you're saying made more sense when you typed it. If you could just clear up what the context is to what you're saying there, because it sounds like you're saying interesting stuff, but I'm not sure what you're referring to specifically.
By the way, the passive also, coincidentally, is really good. Is synergy again with him having proximity towards other people, because if he doesn't really have a big damage output to get to that camp, he's probably going to need at least like a support roaming or somebody else roaming with him to make that jungle camp stronger, because otherwise he might be killed as well. He's still a bruiser, but if he's like against something like a very high damage output jungler like a Xin Zhao, he might need somebody to back him up there, or the Xin Zhao goes, okay, you know what, you can have this camp now.
Well, I think that maybe that's not on like a passive ability. Maybe that pops into one of his actives, probably something on the W, where it means that when going for those invades, he's gonna himself and his ally is going to be a little bit more effective.
Yeah, the W could be like a buff for another ally.
Like a blood
Well,
boil.
so I think where we're at right now is we've got a mobility ability. We want an ability that is helping with like assisting the team, and then I think there needs to be a generic-ish damaging ability, which is going to be maybe max first, or is the ability that enables them to sort of clear at a reasonable speed.
Definitely. How do you want to have? Because I'm looking at Australian animals. We could have something along the lines of a toad, where he puts like a dot effect on jungle camps while he's doing damage.
Is that a cane toad?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, mate, you are giving Australians PTSD right now. No.
No cane toads?
So cane toads aren't actually indigenous to Australia, I believe. They were brought over there to.
Oh, are those the toads that are like invading towns and stuff?
Yeah, big ass toads.
They were brought over to like kill pests, but it turns out that they just
They turned out to be
everything.
a pest.
Yeah. I think there's like some Simpsons episode.
So, how do you like the wolfie?
I like it.
It's very cute. We don't have a wolf in the
Like
kit
it as well?
as of yet, so we need to probably.
Oh,
find...
that can be his cue, where he's like,
we need
making sure it's not too much worry.
The only
No. What animal are we changing? So no bird.
I don't think a bird. I don't think a bird.
Well, if we wanted to try and bring animals into his kit more directly, what about if he had, I guess, somewhat like Udyr, like when he's got a certain effect active, he's got that pet summoned, but it's not a pet as in the separate controllable unit. It's just an effect on him, which gives him like more range or AOE damage or something.
Well that's
or
kind
vision.
of what that's
like
kind of what we're doing
animal.
with the E, isn't it? Yeah. Like it's summoning an animal to do the thing to help him. But yeah, so I think something with the dingo. I think that's probably a good thing to get in there. I kind of like the idea of that being on the W, where it's like the dingo bringing a buff to an ally, or helping them in both in some other way.
There is also something, because once again, looking over at Australian animals, a Thorny Dragon, which is basically a reptile that is, if you can, I don't know if you can put it on stream counterfeit, but it's basically a reptile that has a very tough and sharp skin. So it can almost be like a Rammus effect, where he becomes, he gets more armor or something, he gets more defenses, and at the same time he does damage back to people or jungle camps that attack him So it's basic. So at that point, it becomes more difficult to kill, and he's still in that bruiser spot.
So, with that as an ability, it's like the question becomes like this: why would you attack him? I think not like in a BM, but obviously like
Yeah.
Roas
There's
has
a Thorny
the
Devil,
has the taunt, which obviously forces you to attack him, and then
Yeah.
there's also the interaction with his with his like spike shell, with his like passive or whatever, where it gets the bonus AD or on hit damage or anything. I think maybe it's not quite proactive enough.
Well,
Well, we
let's-
can combine it with a. Yeah, go on.
obviously, Reed's really big on the Tasmanian Devil aspect.
Tasmanian
It's
Devil,
kind of-
okay.
So,
It's
I
the
mean,
Looney Tunes
spin-
animation.
It can be like a spin that he does, like
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so we can say he does like a spin on a short cooldown, and that's very good in jungle because if you have small AOE damage abilities, that's really
Yeah.
good against jungle camps. Yeah, I like it.
well,
It
so-
turns
Hey,
out-
is it sorry? Is it okay if I make the passive? Give it like, because werewolves, for example, get stronger with the full moon. So I thought the mini picture could be like, like a wolf like howling at the moon. Because there's also like the wolf camp
Oh, what if he leaves
Because
his
buffing
what if he leaves
enemy
his
jungle
wolf?
camps
What?
What if he leaves his wolf behind at that camp?
as an extra enemy to kill, like or an
Yeah.
extra thing to kill at the. Okay, that's
Yeah,
cool.
like that wolf is there to protect that camp.
Okay. Oh, so
Okay.
it adds itself onto the camp, but then you have to kill it
Yeah.
to get it to respawn again. Or get
Yeah,
the
yeah,
camp
so-
to respawn again.
Yeah, exactly. So if they kill it, obviously you get the wolf back, but you can place it back again at another camp.
Well, and you could almost like you could have it as like be like a proactive, like a enemy pet almost like a Heimerdinger turret or something, but or how Wolf interacts with Kindred's W. Where
Yeah.
like you'll place it in a location and it'll be tied to a camp, but it will like attack people like the it'll look like the old wolf spirit thing almost.
Yes, we can bring back the feral spirit pupper.
we could bring back
Yeah.
like the wolf spirit, yeah. And
Yeah,
it
yeah,
go
You're
on jungle
welcome.
camps, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they respawn with the.
The wolf runs back to him when low enough. Oh,
Yeah, when
that's
low
cool.
enough. And
And that's how you could integrate like the cooldown mechanic into it.
yeah, when he's low enough, the wolf runs back to him. At the same time, you can also say, this might be too much, but when the wolf is not on a jungle camp,
Right.
he sticks with him, meaning he has also that extra layer of protection when you're going more towards the late game, and you don't really need to protect these jungle camps anymore.
That's something we definitely need to think about is
Yeah.
where this is going to function outside of that particular context of counter jungling.
So
Yeah.
a name for the passive is.
There aren't wolves in Australia.
that's a bit of a problem.
Well, then it's a dingo. I mean,
a
it's
dingo.
fine.
It's a
just
dingo.
it's just a
Okay.
dingo. It's a dingo.
It's a dingo. It's a dingo. It's
Dingo
a dingo.
spirit.
Wait,
Dingo
wait,
spirit.
wait. Okay, wait, and it's called.
The dingo dango.
It's called. No, wait, I got a name.
Okay. Dingery
Dingo.
Dingery do.
Stay.
Dingo stay. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I like
I
it.
like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cool.
Okay, that works. All right. Dingo dingus. Thank you.
dingo dingus.
Dingo dingus.
All right. So I wanted to just pull out again just a bit to make sure we're still heading on a sort of a coherent track here. So Middlecott, without reference to actual abilities and things, what would the kind of play pattern be here for Aussie Udi here? Like, so if they're invading the jungle, are they looking to encounter the other jungler, or are they looking to avoid them?
I think looking to avoid them directly. So more focused on clearing camps, trying to get an advantage through CS, like in the early game, and then transition into like controlling zones. I think would be quite cool in the mid to late game.
Okay.
And just sort of like running the map, I guess, without necessarily fighting people like a bunch. Obviously, gonna have some sort of like combat ability, but more sort of like a kind of like a, I guess like a scout vibe or something in that thing where you can do a lot of like irritation to the enemy team without actually necessarily having to directly interact with them.
Okay, that's really good to get that.
What if we
Okay.
give him a speed buff in bushes?
Yeah, that could work.
It's not because if you give him a speed buff in bushes, he's definitely. I mean, he's strong in jungle, but outside of jungle, that's immediately a downside he has.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I guess
I think.
Well,
So sorry, yeah, I don't think.
well, so what immediately comes to mind in sort of favour of that kind of idea is it does encourage them to play more in the jungle, though I don't know if they necessarily need that too much more encouragement.
Oh yeah,
doing
true.
that.
Yeah, true.
Sorry, Miniko, I think I kind of came over you there, so...
No, it thought went by.
Okay, so
Wait.
it's good to know... Oh, yes, Roger?
Yeah, like the other animal. Now that the bird is out of the picture, do we take like the horned lizard, or do we take, I don't know, literally a kangaroo?
I think the animal we talked about is the Tasmanian devil with the Q that he does like a little. No, but
Wait.
seriously, because he does a little spin then.
Do they?
So-
Do they? I don't think they do that spin in real life.
No, they don't. But
in
it's
real life.
they don't.
I know crocodiles have like a death roll, but I can't see this guy like that's turning into a crocodile. But I just
Well, if we're talking about the scout... If you want your guy to be heavy on the scouting stuff, I think bringing the bird back in isn't necessarily a bad idea.
Yeah.
Because like, that's the
I
most
agree,
direct
I
way
agree.
to get there.
yeah.
Okay, so bird is back in.
What sort of like Australian birds with wings that aren't cringe?
I mean, the bird that I took, you can see it here, just like the paper, the line art. I took a hawk.
It's a hawk.
Man, there are hawks in Australia, right?
Yeah, there are hawks everywhere, right? Oh, let's just call it an Australian hawk.
Yeah, there are. Oh, there is the Hawthorne Football Club.
The what?
It's a professional Australian rules football club based in Mulgrave, Victoria that competes. I'm getting distracted. Yeah, no,
Okay,
there are Australian like birds of prey and stuff. So
Okay, good.
so
they're very pretty.
So currently we've got the ability to put a dingo buddy onto a jungle camp. We could it feels like we could probably do a little bit more with that. We've the current hawk ability is the hawk shot from Ash.
Yeah.
Like we could just use that as a basis and say it's hawk shot but something else.
Yeah.
What about like
This is
I
a
don't know
dingo.
I don't know if it would be broken, but like having like a higher vision radius, like similar to Quinn's W, but having it as a more permanent effect rather than just like a one-time vision reveal. Maybe not necessarily permanent, but like being able to see an extra like 50 or 100 units, I think would give you like really unique advantages over other
Maybe
champions.
It could be a range.
What if we
it could
can-
be a sight range extension rather than it being like a circular
Yeah.
reveal.
Yeah. What if he puts?
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
What if he puts the hawk on like so he sends the hawk? It's a medium to long range ability. He sends the hawk on terrain, and the hawk gives him vision over that terrain
yes.
area.
That's what I thought
That's
too.
cool.
Because
Yeah.
like the hawk,
No,
you know, it's
I
like
really
very
like
good.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
I really like that.
So shall we put that in as the W then? If we've got the dingo on the passive.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Hawk, stay.
Hawk stay. no, it's not stay. No, it's not stay. It's,
It's
hawk.
Bird go
Hawk
brr.
scout. It's hawk go. Like Hawk scout or whatever.
I like
Bird
Hawk,
go
though.
brr.
Hawk go. Yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
so this would be that you would attach him to a piece of terrain that would be like a bit of a wall or a wood thing to provide you sight around there.
And what's unique about it is, and that's also really interesting mechanic. So wards are obviously limited by terrain, But if you put Hawk on, let's say if you put him on when you're behind the pit, the jungle or Baron pit, if you put him on top of it, you have vision on both sides.
Both sides, yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to have a long range of vision like the normal vision award would give is okay, but because you have vision on both sides, that's really impactful.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like this has to be like a pretty significant cooldown.
Hippity hop.
Like this is not like a 15-second cooldown. I don't think.
No.
So presumably the enemies can hit the Hawk to get rid of it.
Yeah, presumably.
Maybe it flies back to the champion. Then there's like a cooldown refund mechanic.
Yeah.
That could be worked in
the bird
there.
has to sleep a bit.
Yeah, they shoo it away. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Okay. We need a placeholder name for this champion.
Bruce.
All right.
Bruce.
It's not even a placeholder. That's full name there, buddy. Bruce
right.
the bloke.
Bruce
the bloke.
Bruce the bloke. I love it. Champion name.
Oi, mate.
Oi, mate.
Oi, mate.
Oi, mate.
No, that's his ult where he goes when you do something naughty. He goes like, "Oi, mate, what you doing?" Sorry, that's a terrible accent.
British.
That's a terrible accent.
That's a terrible British accent.
That's a really bad accent.
I'm appalled.
Sheesh, oh my crikey.
All right, so that
What?
leaves us with one more ability on in the basic kit then, the Q. So it sounded like people were thinking about doing a clear base ability of some kind.
Yeah, it needs to have some form of damage. Because the other one, like E, is mostly utility. The passive isn't really dishing damage out itself. So this needs to be very much an ability that actually does damage.
Yeah. I'm thinking something like low cooldown AoE just so you can use Hunter's Talisman passive or the Machete passive to clear.
Okay, so if it's a relatively low cooldown AoE with kind of low damage, then that would limit them pretty heavily in their ability to fight other champions.
I think not low damage, but not super stacked, and maybe there's a buff that we could do for it against champions, so they're not completely helpless in the early game. Maybe just a case of attaching some boring flat or percentage health damage on it that procs when it hits onto champions. Saying this feels like I'm talking a lot about Poppy Q.
It could be like a crocodile
it
bite.
works.
It could be a crocodile bite or something where he literally.
Crocodiles.
So that's
More dangerous weapon for a crocodile is actually their tail.
Oh, so crocodile tail whip then.
And you just like smack them.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would work animation-wise, actually.
I mean, he could literally have like so animation-wise, it'd literally be a crocodile tail. Like it's
Tail
it's
like
all
spawns
He just
out of
gets
him.
out of his bag just like a huge crocodile tail. Like, look what I got.
Yeah.
Hits you with it. Just...
Oh yeah, he just hits you with a huge tail. This is a little bit macabre, but he hits them with a crocodile made like a crocodile leather purse. Oh no!
No.
Like, he has a purse that is made out of
Steve
crocodile
wouldn't want
skin and he
that.
just takes it like...
Yeah,
snaps.
no, that's
Steve
even
would
not on
that.
brand.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
definitely not on brand.
It's definitely not on brand, but it's just.
We're missing the Crocodile Dundee reference. I haven't watched Crocodile Dundee.
What?
All I know is like, call that a knife, and he pulls out.
I mean,
the...
that could also be the
big
cue where he
knife.
just pulls out a big knife and he goes. He just pulls out a big knife and he just goes, "Call that a knife."
call that a knife. The knife, mate. An Echidna. Ooh.
Echidnas are fun. We could do an Echidna.
Yeah.
They're actually, so that's something that's missing from League of Legends that's in Dota. Is you have the Echidna ability, if I remember correctly, it sends like an AoE out from your back and provides more damage reduction behind you. Because
So when running away, it would be useful.
yeah, so it kind of like incentivizes you to play more in a kind of jump in, jump out of fight kind of idea.
I think we'd need to like get rid of something to put that in, and I'm not sure what we can drop here. Because I don't think that works as a Q, because there needs to be some damage. Maybe that's a passive effect, and then there's like an active damage thing on it.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. So sorry if I wasn't clear. Like it is a kind of a two-part ability that you can you can expel quills as the active, and the passive part of it is damage reduction from the back.
I like that actually.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what horrible name we're going to give it? Something about you gotta be echidna me? I don't know.
Bruh.
Right. Oh.
You can't shake your head, Exodus. You got much more terrible things every single time. Echidna shoot.
I know, but they're
Yeah, that works.
fun.
All right, there we go. In the
Yeah.
interest of time, Echidna shoot. Okay,
Hit
so
the shoot. I feel like we need to change the E name.
Yes.
But somebody said something in chat where it's like Skippy or whatever jump.
oh yeah, that
Where
works.
where he just says
Skippy jump.
yeah, or like another name, but yeah, Skippy jump
Yeah.
or something, where he just says to the kangaroo jump, just
Kangaroo hop.
Oh,
Kangaroo
actually, it would
hop.
be kangaroo hop. Would make
Yeah,
more sense.
kangaroo hop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's literally. Oh my life.
Okay, so just to touch back on the Echidna shoot stuff, so just trying to make it make sense. So it's something that needs to function as a clear tool and as some way to fight enemies. So what mechanics would make sense? Because if we're looking at the idea that for the most part Bruce is probably not directly fighting people, but then he can fight, but it's not his primary method of operation. It's like hunting champions.
hmm
So I think if we're doing that, I think maybe we can make the queue have a range associated with it. It'd still be like I think a melee ability, but like have a radius associated with you, and
Okay.
it's going to damage everything in that radius. But then when you're fighting champions, the quills will focus in on the champions a bit more rather than
Okay.
like spreading out.
yeah.
So it can exist to clear in AoEs, but then when you're fighting champions, it becomes like single or multi-target, obviously depending on how many champions
so
there are.
so a circular AoE most of the time, but if there's a champion who's in close proximity to you, they will focus in on them.
It'll deal like a scaled up damage, but obviously not like the full amount of every quill hitting like 180% or something like that.
Oh, what about
I like the idea from Reed where it has like a sort of cooldown refund mechanic on camps and long.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I think that's cool because, as you said, then again it makes him obviously be better as a jungler, but also it's something where he's not the damage dealer when it comes to fights. He brings a lot of utility in there, obviously, and brings a lot of utility in the mid game. But when it comes to really doing damage, he needs to be paired with something in team fights.
And maybe this is a sort of way of him applying a debuff or something to some of the like to whatever he's fighting. I don't know.
I was thinking as well that it needs like if it's just. I was thinking that the Q could be kind of a spammable ability, but it does feel like there should be some. It should be some kind of punishment ability to the champion that you're using it on, rather than just be like here's. It's functionally it sounds like we're talking basically about a hate spike, really.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
Small circle, extra defense from the back. Extra defense from the back. I had an idea, but I actually don't want to go with it. The idea was where he has the first champion he used it on. He takes less damage from other champions, kind of like old Poppy ult, but not as extreme, obviously.
Sorry, can you explain that over again?
So, kind of like old Poppy ult. Old Poppy ult was he put it down on somebody and nothing else can damage you except that champion. They kind of reworked that a little bit into Mordekaiser's result. But maybe something where it's the first champion that's hit with it, he gets a damage debuff. Sorry,
They deal less damage to him.
Yeah, they deal
Bruce.
less damage to him, to Bruce.
So what, like a challenging smite, essentially.
Sorta, yeah, like a challenging smite, where it's it makes him more sturdy in jungle. It makes him more sturdy when going in these 1v1s as well. So he's not just okay, because a clear counter mechanic to Bruce would be, okay, Bruce wants to invade. What if I pick something like Lee Sin and I just stay in his jungle 24/7? And then it's very difficult to deal with because, as we said, he's not a high damage type. But with this thing, if it's just that 1v1 with another jungler engaging, then all of a sudden it becomes way more difficult to do that as a counterplay.
Okay, I actually kind of like that idea for the logic of being that. So if we're talking about sort of unique input output kind of stuff, like as in what makes him different to play against, that so if you go against him 1v1, it's hard to stop him from doing what he's doing.
Yeah,
as soon as
it can
you bring
be
a
when
buddy,
he's
you can.
Yeah, it can be when he's alone, like when he's alone, or because that's a mechanic that's very much in League now with a couple of items and champs as well. When he's alone, he is more difficult to kill. As in, he doesn't do more damage, but he has damage reduction when he's solo.
Okay, monsters. Okay, how do you feel about that, Middlecott? Again, it's totally fine to say no. That's not how you feel.
No, I'm not sure because I think it pulls it in a slightly different direction to what I was initially thinking about. But it's
Okay. Well, let's get back on what you want to do because we want it to be something which is your champion.
No,
ultimately.
but I was like, I like it. Like I'm not attached to any like initial ideas I've come in with. So I think I actually quite like it, to be honest.
Okay. So to deal less damage to Bruce.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we've got a little bit of a crossover there where we've kind of got the, I suppose, yeah. So he gets, if he echidnas them, they deal less damage, and if he has his back turned, they also deal less damage, which is a little weird. But
A little weird, yeah. I don't think you need the thing with his back.
Yeah, I think that's a bit too much as well.
Yeah, I
okay, well, yeah, we can just get rid of that.
So what do you think of the W?
Oh, that's cool.
I really like it.
That's
Actually,
not
Roger, like
nice.
seriously, intuitively, you really draw very clear. This is obviously the second time. But intuitively, these are very clear mechanics because it's an eagle. It's an eagle sitting on a rock. It's gonna give you vision.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really good. Like, very iconic. Alright, so we've kind of gone through this whole thing, and I don't know if this is actually right that we should be, like, I think maybe we're going to try this for an episode we don't have a guest on, that we kind of build the ultimate in last, and I think maybe that might be not the right way to do it, but to go back to what was being said by Feral Pony, about kind of what ults should be, just to kind of get us on the right path here. So, ults are high moments of power that allow the player to break a weakness or a rule they don't normally get to play with in exchange for a heavy cooldown. So, right now, it feels like, so Bruce's kind of play pattern is, he's going into the jungle, he's he's counter jungling, he's providing a lot of intel to the team, and getting away again. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, I feel like that's correct.
So are we thinking that he's going to be ganking as part of this?
Well, yeah, with the E he can, and with the because of Hawk, he already, because with Hawk you have vision, so that provides vision for yourself to go. Okay, I kind of know where the other people are, and because you have utility in there, because you have that gap close, you can go. Because I just spotted, let's say for example, I put Hawk on top side, and I immediately spot the jungler there. Even if it's just a glimpse, I can go gank bot. So that's something where you go immediately have an incentive to gank.
I think it's more a counter ganking kit. I think Echidna Shoot is a really good ability for turning around like temporary 1v2s while you're waiting for your allies' cooldowns to be back up available. And then Hawk, whilst it does have I think it can be used offensively. I think it's a bit more of a defensive tool, so it helps provide allies with a little bit more intel of when a gank is coming, or if they're being dove just like sort of 5 to 10 seconds ahead of time. And then I think Kangaroo Hop is a bit better. I always prefer knock-ups like that sort of style as counter-engage response tools, because you can obviously interrupt dashes and stuff with them.
I think the problem we're facing right now with the alt is what we need to think about. What is either it's very utility heavy, because that's kind of his kit, or it's something like Daisy, for example, is a combination where Daisy doesn't really do a lot of damage, but is very utility heavy with Irwin. Or it's something that just does a lot of damage, where he kind of breaks the pattern, as in, yeah, okay, he's tanky, he's a bruiser, but he's just difficult to kill. But with that ultimate, that's the exception. I think one of the two is something we need to go for.
We could try bringing the animal stuff into. We could, there's broad sort of buckets of abilities like. Oh no, somebody got. What do you want to say?
I mean, it's sort of been a meme about like giving Udyr an ultimate for a long time, and seeing as we got this sort of like different animal-based abilities here, there is a web where it could be like a Heimerdinger or something, and an upgrade onto these abilities. I'm not sure if it's really possible to make something interesting enough that would add like enough high moments with that.
I think the problem, I like the idea, but the problem with that is Hawk. Because if you want to buff Hawk, what do you do to buff Hawk? You make him... I mean, you can go that Hawk attacks somebody, but it's more the lines of then you need to make Hawk really powerful. But then if you want to have utility with buffing Hawk, it needs to give you an enormous vision range.
That's the thing. Like Alt Hawk, what does that do?
We've also got as a potential consideration is that Echidna is also amazing straight away.
It's very, very good.
Very good, yeah.
We could just bring in the previous idea, which was the shape-changing or animal form thing, which we kind of got into a little bit with the ult kind of like gives you a changeable extra ability that kind of lets you play the game a bit differently.
Yeah, that's possible, but what would you want to do with him then? Like, give him sort of himself a steroid, or does he change into an animal with a different... Does he change into something else, a shapeshifter with a different kit? Because if you want to do that...
Like, thinking like something which would let you just... like maybe it was... Well, maybe if we bring the whole enhanced basic ability in, maybe each of the forms enhances a basic ability, but also lets him do something else.
This is something where you can go... Okay, this is something where you can go... He presses R. If we go in the lines of shapeshifter like Heimerdinger, he presses R, and then he needs to press Q, W, or E, and he has the option to change in one of these forms. So he has the options to either change it into, for example, with Kangaroo, he'll definitely be speedy, right? Or he'll do a big punch. He'll do something that's a long AoE, that's a big knockback. With Hawk, he can go. Actually, Hawk is maybe speedy. With Hawk is something where you can go. Okay, this is something you need to use to either scout terrain or I'm not really sure. And with the Q is just okay. He becomes more tankier. He becomes does more damage. His AoE range might increase as well. So I think buffing Q and E. I like the idea. I think buffing Q and E is really reasonable. I also like the idea of it buffing Hawk, but it's something that needs to be... What is impact for Hawk then? Would he blind people, for example? Or would he get a lot of attack speed?
No, he would find like all the enemies for like 3 seconds. See like where all enemies are.
Ooh, kind of like a TF ult.
Yeah, I think that's a bit similar to TF.
Yeah.
I know. I think the ult for like an enhanced form change, which will give benefits like to your other abilities. I think that is like really cool. I think that's the way to like look into this. Like, yeah, I can see obviously Echidna that's going to provide like additional damage bonuses. Maybe you can have like a slow on your quills or something.
Okay. Let's.
Yeah.
So let's stop at this one.
Kangaroo, I think, is actually a bit more damage focused. And I think Hawk, then you can look at. No, maybe that is enhanced vision radius and movement speed.
Ooh, yeah, that I like, Reed. Where if you buff, so if you use R and then Kangaroo, you can jump up and it gives you a very big knock-up area. That's something
Yeah.
If we had the whole thing that the later forms of R lets you change your form more frequently, maybe there's like a big effect when you first change that form, like this Kangaroo big jump AoE knock up. But then it has some sort of passive effect beyond that until you next change to your different form, which then will give you another big effect and then a passive going forward.
Wait, can you repeat it again?
So, say for instance, so if we work on the idea that ranking up R lets you change form more frequently, that you would get whenever you say take on the form of a kangaroo, you would get a kind of a signing bonus, which would be a special thing you would do, like how Uda does. That when you first activate the ability, you get a small jump or extra damage or something.
Oh yeah, that I like. Yeah. So it's a sort of an activation for so sticking with Kangaroo. So he presses R, then he presses E. So he knows his next form is going to be Kangaroo. So when he jumps in, that's the knock-up effect or whatever, the CC effect comes in play. With the Q, it would definitely be a damage effect. Okay, let me take a look. So shoot, so he could either increase his
I think more quills.
Yeah, more quills. Maybe
slow
quills even
effect.
slow effect on the quills as well is a very good idea. Are these little guys poisonous or venomous by any chance?
Echidnas, no. Snakes are quite venomous. I don't know, but I don't think you can make an echidna snake hybrid. I think that would be a little bit weird.
Okay, and then what would
Spiky
Hawk
snake.
do? What would Hawk do when you would pick the Hawk form? I mean, somebody in chat mentioned that you could maybe do the old Swain passive, where if Hawk is put on a wall with the ult, he provides a sort of laser, or he provides a damage ability, a sort of stationary damage target on that wall, which is good when you're fighting in pits. So it's something that it's very situational, which is good because you need to have that choice. And for example, when we're going to fight in the Baron pit, well, Hawk's definitely the ability you want to level up then.
I think maybe less damage focused. I think applying some sort of debuff I think would fit a bit more with the sort of lower damage playstyle while still offering you something cool. I mean, there's the obvious example would be a blind sort of effect.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well.
If someone like a Hawk that goes down and attacks every champion sort of once, blinding them for a length of time, and then I don't know if you could have it keeps attacking them, but it doesn't blind them anymore. It only does a little bit of damage.
The enhanced talk, rather than staying on the terrain, it goes and attacks anyone that comes within its circle of terrain, and then that vision moves with it.
The thing is with the blinding effect is kind of cool because it's very impactful. So for example, if you're in a team fight, you use R. If you're a good example is you're up against a team that has 3 auto attackers. Okay, so you use R Hawk. It means that you know that is going to at least deny 3 auto attacks if it's 3 people there, and these can be very impactful auto attacks.
Okay, so if we work on the idea that each of these ones has got a bonus effect for cast and then a passive afterwards, what would that be for the Echidna one? What would be the on cast effect, and then what would you have until next cast? If we assume that each of these is supposed to sort of give you a different way to approach the game, where you're kind of focusing on, say, damage or CC or sustain, would be the 3 I
think it's a little boring, but I think just having a a sizable damage buff on Echidna. Really push that as the sort of like red element of the design.
Okay.
I don't think you need anything particularly crazy on that.
His kit is already quite, I wouldn't say complicated, but it's already quite comprehensive. So it's it's not a bad thing to just go R, where it's intuitively R just does more damage on the Q.
Yeah.
Okay, and what would be the ongoing effect for the rest of the while he is in the form of the Echidna?
I think maybe that's
very
when
adorable.
That is very adorable. I think comboing with like just so like resistances maybe.
It could just be more.
I'm looking at it and it feels like outside of that that damage bonus from that damage reduction from Echidna shoot, but obviously you need to be in range to actually do that.
Yeah.
So let's say that you're like getting poked or kited a bit, then this stance would give you a little bit more protection against that, like before you get jumped on.
Oh, maybe,
yeah, because then you're gone.
I was thinking maybe it could be a thing that he shoots quills at anyone who hits him.
Oh, kind of like a passive.
Yeah, it's just like passive thorn mail.
Passive thorn mail, kind of like where it's whenever. Oh, this is a cool. So, you know the Eve Q, right? Where she sends a spike out. It could be. He could be when he presses RQ. At every auto attack he receives, he sends a spike back at you. So if you're up against a rapid auto attacker, that is very useful because then he goes, oh, you know what? I'm in melee range, or I want to be tanky. So as soon as and he's not really directly damaging it, and that kind of fits in the style as well. So he's. Yeah.
Deal like a percentage of the auto attack back at them.
Oh, that is really strong. Yeah, that's really strong.
Look at it. It's so adorable.
It's actually quite adorable.
Yes.
I think created something so cute.
We are definitely leaning in towards Bristleback's design, though. I've got to remind myself exactly what it does, because, to be fair, we are drawing on literally exactly the same premise, so it does make sense. But okay, let's, for the sake of just getting a thing in, so the passive is, sorry, was it? It was going to be a damage. It's like a bramble vest.
A bramble vest, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to just go and say it applies grievous wounds?
Sure,
yeah.
And just straight up give him the item?
Yeah, why not?
Straight up give him the item.
just give him the item, bro.
I think the general idea of what we're doing here is quite interesting, because I don't think there's not many champions, I think, apart from the transforming ones, where you kind of sort of make the decision about how you're going to approach the fight before you come into the fight. So I think it's quite cool.
I think you make the decision about how you approach the fight before you get to the fight on literally every single champion counter.
Yeah, but you see, I know when someone says something like that, it's like, it sounds like you're saying something clever, but no, you're just misunderstanding me. Because you can't, like, I can't think of any champions where you'd have to burn their ultimate before a fight started, and you just didn't have your ultimate for the rest of the thing, because you had to choose, like, you know, I guess Heimerdinger is the only one which I can think of like that, but he doesn't, like... Yeah,
but Heimerdinger also, because this is a little bit this is Heimerdinger's ult in essence, but it isn't at the same time, because, for example, you have a Yasuo in your team. Definitely going for, when you go for a team fight, definitely want to R Kangaroo. But then if your team needs peel, then you go R and the Echidna. So then you're the tank. And when you want to deny some stuff, when it's another utility with Hawk, then you go R Hawk. So I think I actually really, really like the idea of him having to think about, in a team fight, what is my role? Because this is very flexible. His role can be, with the Echidna, he's more tanky, so he provides the peel. With the Hawk, he provides utility. He's more of a guardian kind of style. And with the E, he's definitely the engager in the fight.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get that down on paper then. So for the Hawk, form of the Hawk, what's the active effect then?
Was it blinding that we?
Yeah, it was blinding. It was blinding in the AOE when you place it.
Okay, so would that be reduced vision or smokescreen blind?
Yeah. I think reduced vision is a good because thematically the idea is he claws at your eyes, so a hawk will claw at your eyes and you're blinded. But yeah, I think giving reduced vision for like 1 or 2 seconds, and then he will jump from champion to champion until you're no longer in range.
What's the passive benefit for Bruce of being Form of the Hawk?
Was it greater vision radius? Was that it?
Yeah, I mean that would work.
That would work, yeah. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm
Nocturne blind.
Let's make everyone blind in the entire map. Yep.
That's a bit. That's a Dota style ult where it's a bit too powerful.
Okay, so then the last thing we need to get is the passive for the kangaroo form. So on cast you get like a kind of, it sounds like a bit of a Zac leap knock up.
Yeah.
Zac Lee and then a sort of a Galio, maybe not as big, but a Galio style knock-up effect.
So what would his passive benefit for being a kangaroo be?
Tail.
What would that do?
Alright.
Oh, just having a tail. You thought it'd be fun.
Just having a tail.
Just having a tail, you know?
Okay, let me think. Cast, you knock into the fight, you...
well, I mean, if it's going to be movement-based...
Yeah, movement-based, because if you want to jump in that fight when you're... I mean, obviously you're jumping into the enemy team, so it could be like a speed buff, where he gets a speed buff for the next couple of seconds, because if you jump into the fight, there's a good chance he might get bursted down, so either you want to get out, or if you're engaging and jumping into the fight, it is you want to jump onto somebody else, so you want to make sure that you're getting closer to that support or carry you want to take out of the fight as fast as possible.
Reed, I don't think we... Well, so the kangaroo hop gives the wall hop already.
Oh, he could ignore unit collision after the kangaroo.
Ooh, yes,
Yeah?
yes. No, yeah, I really like that.
So sort of like a ghosting effect, even like maybe small speed buff, but also ignoring unit collision.
Okay. Yeah, I could go for that. So what's the
are we making the speed buff just flat or conditional? Is that it has to be like when he's near an enemy unit?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, if we want to make this more focused on what the use case is for it.
Yeah, I think it's because
Okay.
I think just generally having a bit more movement speed would be a little bit boring unless it's engaged in a specific way. I think having more movement speed going towards people, I think.
Is that just because kangaroos are aggro?
Kangaroos are aggro.
Yeah.
Like they could be pretty aggressive.
They don't play around.
Yeah,
They don't?
they really don't. They really don't.
They even stand in like small tiny lakes, look like they're about to drown, so that people like get in so they can drown them.
Yeah, and the
What?
Like
That can't
yes.
be true.
yeah, kangaroos
Yes,
kangaroos
no,
are
it is a
aggressive
thing.
fuckers.
No.
Like I read that like
yeah, I read it as
like
well.
oh yeah, the kangaroo is like sitting in the lake. Like why is it in the lake? Like and then someone said like don't go in. It will try to drown you. It's like what?
That sounds
Excuse
super
me?
urban legendy.
You know what? I'll be the Google guy. I'll look it up. So,
all right.
kangaroo drowning.
Oh, so
Let's see.
Reed was
Right.
asking, do camps count as enemy units? Oh, that's right. Yeah, so it's probably towards enemy champions, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Just to clarify that. Okay, I think this is a really cool ability kit here that we've actually managed to mush together. The friend of animals and also Izudir.
It also is Udir. I like that we started off with something like as an idea, and whilst I think like we've kind of kept like the supportive enabling theme in a lot of ways, it is completely different to what I thought it would be when we set out.
Yeah, no, it totally
How
is.
does this look like?
That looks
the R?
amazing.
That is
Because-
reminding me of like Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yes,
Which
it is
is-
very
Yeah,
generic.
big
is that
ways.
so bad? Because
Not
like
at
you know
all.
he's like choosing his form, you know.
I
So
think-
he's like
Is it possible to get like a little sort of shade of the animals in those spaces?
there.
Like
Okay,
as in like a
so-
sort of like a sort of a
Or do you want like
Oh yeah, like
the
having
faces?
You have
Yeah,
like
like the-
hawk, Echidna and Kangaroo in there, which it's clear he needs to choose from one of the three. By the way,
Well, that's what I have. Like the left
Yeah,
one, like with the
true.
hog is like the green, and the
True,
cheetah
that's true.
is the pink, and the. I mean, I can do like a little. Wait, hold on.
By the way, I just looked it up. So it's not exactly that they drown animals intentionally, but apparently what happens is kangaroos, especially bigger types of kangaroos, they will go when threatened. They will go to small rivers because they're so tall and they have because of the way their body is built. Apparently, it says it gives them an advantage in a fight. So when they feel threatened, they will go into a river because it's very much they're on the high ground then. Oh yeah, footprints.
I do not know how to draw a fucking footstep.
I mean,
Hold on. You just don't go in the river then.
Well, yeah, that's the idea. That's their idea. So they go in the river because they know
So
they
they're
have
trying to
defense.
escape.
Yeah,
I
so
thought they're trying to like start a fight.
no. So when they feel
Oh, you
threatened,
make wanna fucking go?
Detective.
no. So when they feel threatened, apparently kangaroos will go into a river because they know they have a fighting advantage in that river because obviously they also have their torso is still above water and I mean they can dish out punches. Because
I'm just concerned as to how strong like a crocodile is in this situation because I was under the impression that like a river is kind of the crocodile's domain, but if kangaroos can muscle in on their territory, then that actually shakes up. I think quite a lot of biology.
I wanna see a kangaroo and a crocodile fight.
All right,
somehow.
I think now we've turned on to which animal would win in a fight. We have officially reached the end of what we're doing here today. So I honestly, I think this is pretty cool. Is there any like last tweaks or changes you'd like to make to the kit here?
No, I think it's really cool. It's taken us a bit of time, but I think we've actually got to something that has like some pretty unique tools, but also some fairly obvious like disadvantages.
Oh, of course, yes. Happy Light Sense. We cannot go today without having getting some quotes from from everyone's favorite half Australian. It has to be Middlecott delivering the quotes here. We need some champion quotes for the socials, you know. What should Bruce say?
Well, it's obviously there's a g'day.
Sure.
How's it doing, mates?
Alright.
I don't know what like other quotes you could have like related to him though.
You can say something like, "I like Barbie, but I'm still a vegetarian" or something.
Is he a vegetarian? I don't know.
I don't know. Is he a vegetarian? It's your.
Is there gonna be tofu at the Barbie?
Yeah.
Like another reason why he doesn't have a lot of like human friends. Because he's the one asking in the group chat, "Is there gonna be tofu?"
Oh, jeez.
Nice.
I'm sorry, I just had to.
Y'all guys are vegetarians, right?
Oh.
I really love the animal
I've not done
spirits.
voice acting, so I can't like. I feel like something kind of cheeky like me. I'm a bit of an animal lover, like something like that.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's cool.
It's just like generally positive vibes.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff is fine. Absolutely fine. Let's get a couple...
a bird in the streets, or echidna, or a dingo, or whatever animal you like.
My favorite.
You know, you know, cause like the saying goes,
That's
like, you know,
incredible.
you know, like you know, soft in the streets but like naughty in the sheets. But he's just like, yeah, it can be like, I am a bird in the streets, or echidna, or a dingo, or whatever. It's your favorite animal.
Alright, wait, can you put this in? So I'm a bird on the streets. What was the rest
Yeah,
of that?
I like it.
Or what is it called? Echidna?
Echidna.
Echidna.
Echidna. Oh, sorry. You're like, I'm a bird in the streets, or echidna, or a dingo,
dingo.
or whatever you want.
Yeah.
or any animal, really.
Or any animal, really. Oh, my favorite type of music, hippity hop.
Oh no. Oh dear.
Yeah. See, this is what I was talking about before.
You gotta have
There's an
some
option.
work stuff there, like I come from a land down under, or something like that.
Yeah.
Just like chuck it in there.
Or what Red said, come here, kitty, to enemy Nidalee. Because like some champions have like those like special lines when they
yeah.
hear when they
Yeah, come
encounter
here.
someone. So that is really good.
You can also do that against Rengar and Yumi as well, so that's kind of cool.
Yes!
Yeah. Come here, kitty.
All right, I'm gonna turn the music.
Oh, wait.
What?
Renekton ones. He's like, crikey, look at the size of that croc.
Yeah, yes!
Get a load of this.
When he sees
This is
Nasus, like,
absolute
who's a
beauty.
good boy?
Yeah.
Who's a good boy, Nasus?
I guess Nasus a good boy.
Or Warwick too. Like, hey, you want a bone? Like,
Alright.
go fetch the bone.
Middle cut. I'm gonna turn off the music.
Oh, sorry. He needs to have something where against Cassiopeia. Oh, I hate snakes. Something along those.
Ooh.
Bloody
What a-
hell,
what a
look at the
sneaky
size of
bitch,
that
eh?
Snake.
Yeah, just against every animal. He goes, bloody hell.
Look at the size of that
Bloody
thing.
bomb's going off, mates.
Oh man.
All right, middle cut. We need to get the clean slate, so I'd love for you to deliver Bruce's lines here. We've got the quotes here on the sheet. Could you give us a line with maybe 1 or 2 seconds in between each one? We can put that out as an official voice acting gig
All right.
for middle cut.
All right. Oh, these are going to be bad. I'm confident on the last two, but the first ones are a bit. Well, I'm a bit of an animal lover. I'm a bird in the streets, or an echidna, or a dingo, or any animal, really. Come here, kitty. Crikey, look at the size of that croc. Bloody hell, look at the size of that snake.
Do you want to keep going? You can start as many else as you want, but- No, that's wonderful. Thank you.
That's wonderful.
All right, so
Ugh.
I think we've got it, Bruce.
Yeah.
The final thing, of course, is we need a title for Bruce. What is Bruce's title, middle cut?
Absolute bloke or something.
Yeah, the bloke.
The bloke.
I'm Bruce the bloke.
Bruce the bloke.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's official.
yes.
All right.
Oh, damn.
So, middle cut, we're coming to an end of things right now. Is there anything that you would like to shout out before we head off today?
Yeah, well, I guess if you want to watch some of the other stuff that I do, I'm on loads of shows all the time. I also do casting. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. The handle is my name on here, which is quite fantastic. I just want to say thank you to Counterfeit Nexus and Roger. You've all been brilliant, and I've really enjoyed this evening.
Aww.
Oh fuck, we forgot our own stuff. Oh yeah, join our Discord.
Yeah.
Join our Discord.
We're also on Twitter. We're also on Reddit. We have a Discord. Just
We have a Discord and a LOL Wikia now, which we're planning to update with all our previous work as well.
true.
Oh yeah. Let me put the Discord link in because I realized that that isn't there. So.
Trust us, we are professionals.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Our Discord, there you go. You can get that, and I guess we can start spamming out people from there as well. But yeah, no, please do come in because one of the big parts as well is that we're hoping to sort of make this a very, very collaborative thing. You know, Reed, Happy, everyone else who's been throwing in stuff here. We do research during the weeks on the champions which we're thinking about doing, so being part of that would be tremendously useful. So yeah, we've got the Twitter at Champion Forge, the Discord that's in the chat right now. Roger's been doing some fantastic stuff with the Twitter posts as well. Roger or Exodus, do either of you have any personal things you want to shout out before we go?
Yes, hire me. And second of all, I'm doing a stream Wednesday. It's with Petters TV where we're going to do part 2 of our horror ghost dating sim realty,
Ooh.
adventure selling stuff.
Okay.
It's like a
That
graphic
sounds
novel.
like a lot.
It's a graphic novel that you're playing. It's really, really fun. Last episode we had such a lot of fun, but then obviously our work schedule kind of delayed the project. But we're back this Wednesday, so please check it out.
Okay, so
Nice.
have you posted about that on your Twitter? Can people go there and find out more about it?
Not yet, but I will tomorrow and Wednesday as well. That is at Kesrexus on Twitter. Hit up that follow button. It does help out the channel and all the stuff YouTubers say.
Roger, what about you?
Guys, I'm 20 now. I'm old. I turned 20 last Friday, so that's my personal stuff right now. So, yeah. Anything else? No. No,
Okay, you just want to get that out there.
I'm in love with my animals that I drew.
You should be. Those are wonderful.
Like-
They are very adorable. They are very adorable.
Glowing
Especially
animals.
that echidna.
Yes, the
Yeah,
Echidna
I
is
love
the
it.
best.
There's something like it's like so shy, but it's like looking around the shoulder, like hello.
I think
Yeah.
we need to start putting together stickers based on some of this stuff because this is true.
Yes. Yes.
Would you buy a little glowing echidna sticker? If not,
Yes.
I
you're a
would.
bad
I
person.
would.
Yeah,
Alright,
I
let's
would.
make it happen. Maybe we can make that a treat for our guests as they can get some
Champion
stickers.
Forge Etsy shop.
Yeah, alright. There we go. We've got
Yeah.
3 people who
We'll
buy
sell
that. Makes...
T-shirts.
Yes, let's do it. Roger, we're gonna make you rich. We're gonna make you rich.
Fucking finally!
Alright, I think that's gonna be it for us today. So I think let's see. Does Munchables need it? I was looking for 2 to raid across with. Oh, yeah, good old Munchables. He needs a few more viewers. So we will be back next week. We're gonna be sort of alternating between having guests and not having guests. So next week we will be going more into the theoretical side of things and trying some more out there stuff. Just to try and expand our horizons a little bit. But Middlecott, thank you so much for coming along and providing these wonderful ideas that I think we would have never thought of doing an Australian Park Ranger guy. But yeah, look out for those
been a
Echidna
pleasure.
stickers. Maybe they'll be coming soon once we figure out how to do the 1,000 other things we need to do. Let's go say hi to Munchables and see how they're doing because, is that working? I don't know. It says
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta click on the raid right
You
now.
gotta click the raid button.
Alright.
I'm waving goodbye.
Bye. Bye.
I've got to change.
See you next
Oh god. Okay, my
Come
chat.
on,
My chat thing isn't
Peter!
working.
Peter!
I need to log out and then log back in again with the other one. You got to raid.
Oh, jeez.
This is embarrassing. Nobody saw anything.
We're
It's fine.
professionals. We do this every day.
Please
All
let
right.
me go, counterfeit.
No.
Please.
Come on. All right. Raid right now. Give me. No.
Yes.
Okay. No. Yes.
Yes.
No. Maybe.
No.
It's counting down.
Come on.
4, 3, 2,
Yes.
1.
Woohoo!
We're out of here. Oh my god.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ!
Oh
The
my
restream
god.
chat doesn't give me the option to raid.
Oh my lord.
People.
Hey, Red.
Hey Reed, how you doing?
Oh,
Pretty
hey.
good.
Oh man, that was a fun episode.
Yeah.
That was a fun episode.
Yeah.
I think I really like this because I think this is something I know this is something not something I would have come up with. But it's really cool.
Alright, I have actually been spammed by some IRL,
Yes.
so I do need to go.
Yeah, no worries.
No.
No problem.
I
gonna go
really
now.
enjoyed that. That was absolutely amazing, guys. Have a good
No
one.
Oh, thank you
worries.
so much for coming.
Aww.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. Bye bye.
Oh,
Bye.
cheers.
Bye.
Reed, thank you for being up in all the chat and business. That was great.
Oh, that was so much fun.
Mm.
Really?
Ah,
Oh, but yeah.
we got a lot
Oh.
of good viewership as well today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I think it really helps the some people know who Middlecott is as well.
Yeah, true.
And yeah, it makes a big difference as well. Like thank you again, Reed, for being active in the chat. Like, that makes all the difference of people hanging around or not.
Yeah.
Wait, why am I still hearing the
It's
monkey voice?
it's